Welcome to another great edition of Beacons of Light. Joining me today is Miss Connie Steward, who is the National Vice President of Friendship and Community. I mean, that's what our society is all about, isn't it, Connie?
That's exactly correct. You are so right, Michael. And I am so very happy to be here today. And it's a new position. It's one of the 6 new vice president roles in our new administration, Mr. John Berry, our national president. And this particular role is really responsible for the formative Multicultural Diversity Committee. So primarily we are focused on building friendships, broadening friendships, embracing diversity, and really ensuring that we have one society that is inclusive of all of our Vincentians. So it's really, I'm excited about it. It is a new position, and according to John, he would like for us to create what that will look like so that we can accomplish what it is we're striving to do, and that is one society for all. And it's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yes, it is.
I mean, you know, you've been a member for now a while.
Right, yes.
And tell us about your spiritual journey. How were you invited to join the society?
You know, I remember the day so well. I had just retired. This was in 2008. And I was at Mass one Sunday, and they were announcing something about the society. And I thought, wow, that sounds like an interesting ministry. I'd heard about it, but I wasn't that familiar with what all they were doing. And I knew that they had been at St. Monica, our parish, for many years. So I thought, I think I'm going to inquire about it and go to the meeting. And I did. I went to the president at the time, and I said, I'd like to know more about the society. So he said, oh, yes, we'd love to have you, you know. So I joined in 2008. Shortly thereafter, I was a secretary for the conference, and then I served 8 years as the treasurer for the conference. And following that,
I always love treasurers that go that long, because that means you're counting the money right and
you're
spending it right too, right?
He always used to say, oh, that Connie, she will not let a penny go by. Right. So yeah, I served 8 years as treasurer. And then after that, the president at the time said, Connie, would you like to be, I said, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for that just yet. So, but anyway, I thought about it and I prayed about it. And I said, you know, I think that is my next step. So I then became president in 2019, which was, about 6 months before the pandemic?
Yes.
So that really was an adjustment, and, you know, it took a lot of rethinking how we were going to do things and how we were doing things. But fortunately, we were able to continue working, continue helping those in need in the community. St. Monica Parish, where we're involved, sits in an area that is in need, serious need. So we were able during the pandemic to continue, and we started having drive-by food drives, and we served like 150 families every Friday. So it was very successful, and we were able. So I've been serving, this is my 4th year. And as we discussed earlier, I just became the vice president, and so I decided after that I would resign from my conference president role because I just thought it would be too much to really take on both. And we're in the process right now of getting a conference president, and we have someone slated that's looking very interested. In fact, she's a legacy. Her father was St. Vincent de Paul for 52 years.
Right.
And so anyway, we're excited about that. And I'm looking forward to the new role. And I still serve as the secretary for the council in Houston, Galveston, Houston area. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of stuff to be doing, and you're retired.
I know. Someone said the other day, Connie, you're retired. I said, yes, but you know, I like to stay busy. I do better when I'm busy. I just do better when I'm busy.
No doubt.
So, yeah.
I think that's good for all of us.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think
I do too.
A local Vincentian here that has gone to his rest in heaven. He was a local Vincentian for many, many years. His name was Rouge, and he had an old saying, you may have heard this. He said, it's important that that when we go to Mass, we don't become part of the frozen chosen. We're chosen not to be frozen in the church. We're supposed to take out. We're chosen to take the ministry out. And that's what you did. Once you retired and you had an opportunity, you took it out. And St. Vincent de Paul is a great ministry to do that, right?
Oh, it is. It's so rewarding. It really is a rewarding ministry. Just at Christmas this past year, well, we've done it for many years, but we always get toys from one of the other parishes in the city, and we share with the children in the area. Well, this particular family had just gone through some really hard times, and we helped them to get into an apartment, and they have 6 children. And the husband was without work, and the mother was just really just wondering how she was going to get toys. And I said, not to worry, we're going to get toys for the kids. So the day of the toy drive, she could not get to the church to get the toys. I said, don't worry, we're gonna get the toys over there. So another one of the Vincentians and I drove over, and Michael, if you could have seen that little girl when I took out the bag of toys to give to them, she just hugged me and hugged me, did not want to let go. She was so grateful. And it was just so refreshing, so wonderful to see that we could make a child so happy, you know. And I mean, that's just one example of what it's like to really be able to help those who are in need.
Well, you know, I mean, in our whole Vincentian mission to serve all God's children, whether they're, how old was the child about?
She was 13. She was 13.
Well, whether you're 13 or 93.
That's right.
We're all children of God.
That's right.
And you know, through the years, you've probably done so many home visits, you can't remember the number, but every time it was a great opportunity to serve Christ. Huh?
Absolutely. Oh, yes, indeed. I can remember another one not too long ago. It was a grandmother whose daughter was not available to take care of the children, so she had all 6 children, grandchildren. And she looked at us and said, you know, my husband's hours have been cut. I don't know how we're providing for the kids, but I just don't know how we're going to get things for them for Christmas. So here again, I said, let's get their names, their ages and everything, and we'll make sure. So she came over that day and was just so grateful that, you know, and it's always amazing to me that we assume things and we don't know. And then when you get to talking to people, we take so much for granted, you know? We take so much for granted. And when you sit down and talk to people, and I'm thinking, they're needing some things that we just consider basic, you know, that you can just get. So it's just great when we can provide, you know, assistance like that. So I love it. It's very rewarding.
Well, I can see it in your face.
Yes.
And when we come back, Connie, we're going to talk a little bit more about the importance of the society, and I'm going to let you kind of talk about why friendship and community is such a hallmark of the society. We'll see you when we come back. For over 20 years, the St. Vincent de Paul Community Pharmacy has served our area. We provide prescription medicines for those who have nowhere to turn for this most basic healthcare need. Please, if you need your medicine or you know a family member that needs their medicine, contact us. Kay, how can they get in touch?
383-7450.
Give us a call today and spread the word so that we can ensure no one goes without their prescription medication. Welcome back. I've got Connie Steward here on set with me, and she's doing a great job of talking about the work of our society and friendship. That's something that was part of the society from its very beginning in Paris, France in 1833. Absolutely. Why is that so important at a conference, regional, and national level?
I am just so certain that in order for us to move forward, we need to really continue to focus on that same concept of being friends to others, being friends among us, you know, and reaching out to those that we serve, too, with the attitude of we are their friends and they are our friends. And I just think it's really critical, particularly as we're trying to move forward and grow the society. Friendship, I think about my friends, you know, outside of the society. These are people that I want to be around. These are people that I love. These are people that I want to listen to. And that's the same thing we're talking about within the society. They're people we want to embrace. They're people that we want to understand. We want them to understand us. So I just see it as something we want to continue to do and focus on. Community, same thing. We're building a community of people who have common interests, who believe, who have faith, who love. And if we can get a group, a community of people like that, and not if, as we continue to build that, I think we will be serving our purpose in a beautiful way. When I think about our essential elements, spirituality, friendship, and service, I mean, those three together, it makes a wonderful match. It really does. And I think that encompasses, of course, the friendship and the community concept that we're focusing on with the new administration. And I'm just so looking forward to just continue to build and to grow. And I think of our mission, you know, network of friends inspired by gospel values, bridging, I've said it over and over and over, and sometimes I forget it. But anyway, I just want to continue that mission, you know, and make sure that we continue to grow in that manner. Mm-hmm.
You know, Kat Brissett was on a edition of Beacons of Light not long ago.
Okay.
And Kat is a young woman yourself, young woman like yourself. And we had the discussion about how, you know, friendship, the element of friendship is Jesus told us to love one another. Mm-hmm. And that goes for friendship, mm-hmm. that goes for community, mm-hmm. that goes for what you just described, because what I ask Kat, and I'm going to ask you, Connie, mm-hmm. is Christ said, love one another. What problem or issue in the world does that not solve?
Absolutely. It solves. You know, I was reading something the other day and was saying, you know, our world right now is in such a place, you know, with all of the violence and guns and just distraught, you know. And so I said, what could solve all that? Love. That is the answer. And if we love one another, I just don't believe we would have the degree of issues and problems that we're having. So I think it's critical. I mean, if without love, or what does it say? It said love is of faith, hope, and love. Love is the most important. Love, no doubt. Right. You know, and with it, I just think it's an answer.
It's kind of like what we talked about off camera. Mm-hmm. We talked about everyone is a child of God.
God, yes.
And we talked a little bit about how, you know, you're a mom, I'm a dad, and, you know, we talked about the fact that if you asked me who my favorite daughter was, I'd say both.
Both, yeah.
We love, it's unconditional. Look, God loves us all.
Oh, that's right, and it's unconditional.
And so equally, now I know that God is more happy with others than he may be with me, you know, and vice versa sometimes, you know. But I think that when we have that strong friendship and community, then if someone is different than me or has a different opinion than me, then if I love them, I want to listen and learn.
That's right.
And you know, I don't know about you, but you remember the day and time when you could have an opinion or a belief in something, I could have the opposite belief, and I could respect you, and you could respect me, and we could agree to disagree.
Yes.
And still love one another.
Right, right.
You know?
Yes, and that's what I hope we can get back to.
Yeah.
And I believe we can if we just start talking to each other and listening. In fact, I was reading something that John sent us the other day about the Australian society, and they had these listening groups, and I thought, how wonderful, because I think a lot of the problems that we have is because we don't pay attention to what the other person is saying. We don't have to agree with them, as you've just said, but at least give them the respect to have their opinion. And I, of course, then would hope and expect that you would give me an opportunity to have my opinion. And if we cannot attack each other, but, you know, just talk and listen and share, I think the end result would just be so wonderful. And that's what I hope to be able to instill and as we move forward with this role as a friendship and community. Let's just listen to each other and figure out, where are we today? What do we need to do to move forward, you know, and work toward those goals.
Yeah, I think that's really so important. And, you know, it's kind of like what we're talking about, everyone. I mean, if God made everyone exactly the same with the same thoughts and the same opinion, how awful the
that
world
would be so boring, huh?
It would be boring.
That would be boring.
So why don't we embrace God's plan?
Yes, exactly.
I don't get it.
I know it.
And so I guess what you've said so eloquently is that the Vincentian family is a way to get us to that.
Yes.
Each and every one of us.
Exactly. I believe that it can happen. And I think that the Vincentians, you know, we know as Vincentians what our mission is, what we say, but I think sometimes we forget to act out what we're saying. Let me explain what I mean. Sometimes we say the right things, but then we do something different, you know? And I think if we just listen to what we are really saying and do that, we'll be on the right track.
Exactly right. No doubt.
Yeah. And what came to mind is, I was thinking the other day about one society. You'll hear us talk a lot, as you know, we talk about one society. And I said, you know, I think maybe we need to have some conversation around that to understand, what do we really mean by one society? Because I was talking to someone who had a completely different opinion than what I was thinking it meant, you know? And I said, so that's an example of what I mean when I say it's so important for us to talk and make sure that we are all on the same page, that we are, you know, understanding what we mean when we say certain things. And and that comes, I think, with open communication, dialogue. And of course, I know the world is hectic and we have so much going on. We don't always have the time to do that. It's easier said than done. But I believe that if we can start in small settings of doing that, it will be a good thing for us to do.
No doubt about it, Connie. And when we come back in our next segment, we're going to talk about everything from meat pies to to how we can grow as Vincentians when we come back. The Society of St. Vincent de Paul's first cookbook, Taste and See, is the gift which helps share the goodness of the Lord with those most in need. Featuring recipes from Chef John Foles, each chapter begins with a short story about one of our special work programs. To order your copy of Taste and See, please call the Society or visit our website. Help multiply blessings for the neediest in our community. Welcome to Beacons of Light, and since 2006, this program has graced the airways, and I don't think I've ever said the word meat pies on it before.
Oh, you have not?
Not.
No.
But that has something to do with your spiritual life, because your mother was just wonderful at making meat pies, but she played a role in your spiritual upbringing along with your grandmother, right?
Absolutely, very definitely. My grandmother was, and my mother, and my entire family were very devout Catholics, and so I grew up in a very spiritual, devout Catholic home. And my mother said when she was old enough to start making meat pies for the church, they made meat pies. Each family would make so many meat pies for the church bazaar each year, and that's how she got started. So she then continued on making meat pies for about 50 years. And about 10 years before she passed, we asked her to let us find out her recipe. So she did, and the family started making meat pies, and we called them Mommy's Cane River meat pies. And you can get them here in the Baton Rouge area and everything, but my mother.
And that's okay to put a plug in.
Yeah. I didn't want to do that. I should do that.
What is it again?
Yeah, it's Mommy's Cane River meat pies. And Cane River is near Natchitoches, Louisiana, which is where I'm from. And that's the name, but it's Mommy's because that's what the grandkids called my mother, Mommy's. But no doubt my mother had a lot of faith. And I'm certain that she's the cause that I continue to grow in faith as she taught me to do so. And one of the things that I always like to say about the society is that I didn't really know how much faith I had or didn't have until I got involved with the society. And I believe that our faith is something that we continue to develop and grow, you know? And so I'm always asking God, don't let me forget that I want to continue to grow in faith, because faith is really what's going to help me continue on in my life. And sometimes I think, you know, the devil comes in and wants to try to strip you of that faith. So I said, nope, get back. And so I'm constantly praying for strength to continue. And I attribute that to my grandmother and my mother. Both believed, they were very devout, and they really believed, and they instilled that in all of us as well.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So when you sat there, I had walked out of the studio for a minute, and you were talking with Jeff, who is extraordinaire, along with Steve. They do great jobs making this show do so well and look so good. But y'all were talking about Chef John Foltz, and I said Chef John Foltz supports the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, and he's been in that chair. But just quickly, a man of faith, he actually came to see y'all's meat pies and all that.
Yes, he did. He did. I'm trying to remember. I don't exactly remember how he met my mother, but he did, and made arrangements to go up. And we have pictures of him in her kitchen where she was making the meat pies. And he was really working with us, and we were going to try and produce the meat pies, but then there was a storm or something happened, and we weren't able to make it happen. But he has just been a great friend to the family and supported and everything. So wonderful, wonderful man. And I was at an event in New Orleans, and he was there and had his cookbook, and so I got a chance to taste and see, I think it is. Yes. So I have it, and I refer to it all the time. Yes.
Yeah, we love Chef Foltz.
Oh, yes.
I know shout out to him. I want to.
Yes. Super guy. He'll know.
He's fed a lot of people in South Louisiana that have means.
Yes.
But he has fed a lot of people that have no means through the society.
That's right.
And a remarkable human being. That's the kind of community that our Vincentian family needs, right?
Right. Yes, absolutely. Definitely.
Because all are welcome.
Yes, everybody. Everybody's welcome.
You know, I mentioned the Frozen Chosen in an earlier segment. And it's important that we live our faith. And you kind of talked about very powerfully about when you joined the society, you didn't know exactly where you were in your faith life, but it helped you kind of discover that. And I think everybody's discovering that. And I think it's a constant. And, you know, the Beatitudes, you know, blessed are the poor in spirit. They're not talking about people materially poor. They're talking about our need for Christ.
Right, that's right.
And that's important.
It is so important. It really is. And I'm just very grateful to the society for helping me to grow spiritually. And in fact, I tell people all the time, when I first joined, if anyone had asked me, what does the society do? I thought it was service. I thought it was helping the poor. I didn't realize it was to help me grow in holiness and me be spiritually sound. I think that's wonderful. And I think as we grow spiritually, we can be better at being a friend and being of service to others. So that's a key part that we sometimes forget, I think.
Oh, I think it's easy to
Yes.
forget. You know, I think that we're all called, and we're all human beings.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, when Jesus was arrested, you know, the apostles split.
Yes.
You know, but it was their faith that brought them back to Christ.
Right.
And all died a martyr's death except for St. John.
St. John, yes.
You know, so I think, you know, I think there's always got to be that recognition of the importance of that spirituality. Because is it a fair statement to say the more you grow spiritually, the more you realize you got so much more to go?
Oh, yes,
it's kind of like, you start your faith life, you says, my faith life bank account's full. And then you're like, oh my God, I got 2 cents in my bank account. I know that's how I feel. And I'm very sorry that, I'm not got more.
You are so right. In fact, sometimes I say, well, wait a minute now. I've been growing in faith here for a long time, and now I'm feeling like I still got so much farther to go. But it's the truth. It is so true what you just said.
Right.
But I'm grateful though, because the awareness, I know what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I know I can continue to grow, and that's what I'm destined to do and want to do.
45 seconds or so to go in the show. What would your message be to anybody that might want to join the St. Vincent de Paul ministry in their parish, a conference, or the society in general?
I would say to them, it will be the most rewarding experience that you've ever encountered, in that you will not only grow yourself, but you will help others to grow. And what better way could you live your life? Growing and helping others to grow. And you can find that in the society. So I would encourage you to look into it, join, and become involved. And when you do, you won't regret it.
Well, you are a blessing to our Society of St. Vincent de Paul. They're so lucky. We are so lucky to have you as our National Vice President of Friendship and Community, 2 cornerstones of our society.
Yes,
and thank you for your leadership. Thank you for saying yes. And if you enjoyed today's show, tune in next week for Beacons of Light, but you can go to svdpusa.org for more information from a national level, and svdpbr.org for more information about our local society. We'll see you again next week on Beacons of Light.